Dropped my opponent with a body shot. Everybody's saying, no mas, no mas.
The first Sacramento State Pro Boxer. What does that even mean? After nearly 1 million graduates in the school's history, I'm the first to ever go pro in boxing. That alone is crazy. But let's make it even wilder. What are the odds that I just happened to pick Sacramento State? Out of the 7 schools I was accepted into, including UC Santa Barbara, I chose this one. And then, right after I graduate, Sac State decides to become the first ever combat university in the world. Perfect timing? Maybe. But I don't believe in coincidences. This put me in a position no one had ever been in before, giving me a level of support and identity in boxing that's completely unique. But hold on, it gets even crazier. I spent 17 years in the same gym, the place that raised me. These people watched me grow from the age of 6. If you told me back then I'd ever leave, I would have thought you were crazy.
Damn, I came in second, and there was an advice coach.
You ain't first, you last.
We are on the mission to get more sponsors for October 5th for 7-0.
This is a raw collection of random clips from my training camp, organized only in chronological order. Nothing fancy, just the real stuff that happened leading up to my 7th fight.
So tomorrow, we're getting signed.
I tried to tie it together with this voiceover, but at the end of the day, this felt like living through a nightmare. Loyalty has always been my thing, but sometimes life pushes you in a direction you never expect. And somehow, after walking away from the only gym I'd ever known, I ended up at the exact gym that Sac State would later choose as the official home of their boxing program. Here's the kicker. I was ranked number 2 in the country before turning pro. I had options. I could have trained anywhere. I could have gone to the top gyms.
Officially signed to Westside Promotions.
Welcome to Westside.
Yes, sir.
But out of all the places I could have chosen, I picked Flawless Boxing. Think about it. I picked the right school, left at the right time, found the right gym, and now I'm the first pro boxer to come out of Sac State, just as it's making history in combat sports. The odds of all this happening?
No idea who I'm sparring, but the road to 7-0.
But just because something feels meant to be doesn't mean it's easy. I'll admit, while I was an A and B student who worked hard for my degree, I never planned on using it in the traditional sense. I wasn't looking to go to grad school or become a doctor like my best friend, who graduated the same year as me. But that doesn't mean my degree wasn't valuable.
I think having an education as a professional boxer is my unfair advantage. 5 weeks and 4 days out. A little bit heavier than I should have. We lost a pound over the weekend. So we're on track. 5 weeks before we head to 7-0 here in Sacramento. But tonight we're going to the Mix, a little networking event. That's the Mix.
I studied kinesiology with an emphasis in exercise science, the study of human movement, performance, and optimization. That knowledge gave me a major edge as a professional athlete. I wasn't just training hard. I understood the why behind everything. Diet, nutrition, recovery, supplementation. I knew how to maximize my body's performance in ways most fighters never do. I was smarter outside the ring, which gave me a serious advantage inside the ring. But it didn't stop there. I also understood the business side of boxing, something most fighters never take the time to grasp. That's where I found what I believe is the most powerful unfair advantage I have as a fighter: my education. At Sacramento State, I studied science for those 5 years. But more importantly, I learned how to find the information I needed. And that changed everything. Because if knowledge is power, learning how to learn, that's the ultimate weapon. There's no exact statistic on how many professional boxers hold a 4-year degree, but it's estimated to be a very small percentage, likely less than 1%. So what does all this mean? It means I was never naturally gifted at anything. I wasn't the fastest, the strongest, or the most talented. But once I learned how to learn, I used that skill to master something that almost no pro fighter ever figures out: how to secure real sponsorships. This all started by accident when I got the opportunity to participate in a big fight event. I needed to make $10,000 in ticket sales or risk being cut off from the show altogether.
Time to go home. I came to this event because it's a mixture. It's a networking event. It's called Mix and Mingle. People with a big network and a lot of money come here. So that's why I come here, to meet people, make new connections, invite people to my fight. And sometimes they want to sponsor me. Since I'm not fighting on TV yet, I make most of my money from sponsorships. A big thank you to Sac State, not only Sac State but the Well, because they kept my passion and love for boxing alive. Sprints on Sac State campus today. Still kind of tired from last night's networking event, but it was so worth it.
This was all before I signed with Westside Promotions. Once I signed with Westside, I didn't have to deal with shady promoters, but that didn't mean I was making bank. The average local fighter either makes less than $1,000, or in many cases has to pay out, just to cover the opponent's purse. I knew I deserved more than that, because after 20 years in the game, I had earned it. To give you some perspective, most fighters don't see real money until they're 10 fights deep, if not more. I worked too hard, both in the gym and in the classroom, for that to be my reality. I always knew I was different. I wanted to do boxing differently. Once you graduate from a 4-year institution, you see the world through a different lens.
I'm the first ever collegiate combat school in the world. That's right, in the world. And I just happen to be right smack in the middle of it.
Let me give you a comparison. Think of the Matrix. The blue pill keeps you living in the world they want you to see, while the red pill frees you from the illusion and shows you the truth. That's how I see my education. It gave me a new lens through which to see the world, not just as a sport, but as a business.
Oh, here they come. Friday, weighing day, 5 weeks out as of tomorrow, 149.8. So yesterday was my birthday, fighting in about a month, so that's why I couldn't do nothing. I'll celebrate after that. I take this dub. Come back to see Dr. Paul Hughes, going to give me another PRP shot. I got one before and I noticed the improvement. My grip strength got a lot stronger, but I'm still not really quite throwing my punches with a lot of power. I had a full thickness tear, so that hurts and I can't punch hard. It's nice to San Francisco. This next fight's gonna be huge, guys. We're gonna be fighting at the Memorial Auditorium. Sac State's gonna be behind the whole thing. I made it leave for the office, but I'm kinda late. I'm freaking out.
I couldn't believe the money I was generating, especially coming from a family of immigrants who had nothing when they first came to this country. I've never been rich. So when I saw $5,000, then $10,000, and then $12,000, I couldn't believe it. But this time I walked away with a number that most fighters don't see until they're fighting 10-round bouts. I've only ever fought 4-rounders, so you can see why this doesn't make sense. Long story short, I developed a unique set of skills in influence, business, and persuasion. By connecting with local businesses and offering them access to my network and social media following, it made perfect business sense.
Nowadays, I'm working with Flawless Boxing. That's my home gym. Time to weigh in, less than a month out.
146.4.
Well, guys, it happened again. Story of my life. Fight got postponed another month and a half. I'm now fighting November 16th in Redwood City instead of October 5th in Sacramento, which obviously we would all prefer. But the good news is that now I have more time to get sponsors, one extra month to get sponsors, and I already have everything ready to go. So check this out. So we're gonna start off with using the, you feel me, the billboard. Got some fighting stats, some pics, some Instagram stats. See, I'm pushing over 10 million. It's actually at 13 million right now currently, but anything 10 million or more is gonna catch somebody's eye. That's gonna make them wanna talk to you, because that can offer a lot of publicity. Again, the banner, we're looking for long-term partnerships, previous sponsors. So this is a premium right here. There's only one spot, 1-to-1. Platinum is 4K. Never gotten that much, but let's see if we make it happen. Then it drops to 2,000, 2 spots on the back. 1,500 for the just general trunk spot, and then the entry level price 500 for the jacket. First up, let's get warmed up. It's called Burritos Jalisco. La Herradura. One thing I did learn is if people want to contact you, they'll find a way. So all you gotta do is give them the contact information. In other words, business card. I chose the boxing picture because if they care about boxing, then they're gonna contact me. So new fights, new shoes. Let's see. Hints of gold. Oh yeah. Met a real estate agent at the mix. He told me to come out to this place in Roseville. It's an office where you guys are having a big meeting. He expressed interest in sponsoring me, so hope you're following up.
There's still so much I'm learning about sponsor hunting, and I have a long way to go. But I know for a fact that I'm light years ahead of the typical boxer, and that's a problem I want to fix.
I'm lucky enough to teach boxing to the youth, specifically elementary and middle school kids here in Sacramento, and explore how we can bring more attention to your business. See if it works. Big no. Right next door to this Mexican restaurant that just said no is old sponsor, Del Valle Supermarket. Sprint practice, we did Indian runs. My boy over here was dying and shit. It was tough, not gonna lie. It was like 30-minute run where, look it up, Indian run. I can't even explain it, but we did good, just getting in shape. I can already tell these fights gonna be won by who's in the better shape. First ever collegiate pathway for combat.
I've never seen anything like this before. I've never been surrounded by so many like-minded people.
Using Flawless Boxing as their platform.
And here's what I mean by that. I did some research using ChatGPT and found that only about 7% of people in the world have a 4-year college degree. Then I looked up how many people in the world actually know how to box or fight proficiently, less than 1%. I asked Chat to calculate what percentage of the human population has both, and the number came out to about 0.07%. That's wild. It meant that I was already an outlier. But what trips me out even more is that thanks to Combat University, once all these young boxers graduate, they'll automatically be part of that 0.07% too. Or at least that's what I think God is trying to show me.
It's so classy here, man. It's crazy. I'm actually out here at Sac State. Yosemite 187. I'm sure you recognize this room. Got completely remodeled for boxing. Crazy. Our first ever collegiate combat boxing team right here. That's crazy. You see that? We got on Chat. Week 1, I told him exactly what I'm working with and how far my next fight is November 16th. So we got a barbell deadlift, medicine ball rotation, landmine press, kettlebell swings, plyometric push-ups, pull-ups. Exactly 6 weeks out today before November 16th. I'm gonna start my ChatGPT strength training workout, 205. I feel like it's really had a big impact on the youth, because even though I didn't grow up in the worst neighborhood, it's easier to fall through the cracks and get into other things. Hi, I'm Kevin, a professional boxer. I'm partnering with local businesses for mutual exposure leading up to my November fight. Who would be the best person to talk to about this opportunity? I'm gonna try Bar West. I got it, guys. I got my line. I just figured it out. Had it in my profile this whole time. Hi, my name is Kevin. I'm the first ever Sac State professional boxer, teaming up with local businesses leading up to my next fight. The first of anything is always like a big deal. Mi nombre es Kevin, soy el primer boxeador profesional de Sacramento State y estoy trabajando con negocios locales. Antes de mi siguiente pelea, quería hablar con alguien sobre esto, si es posible.
Ok, si gustas tomar asiento, déjame ver si no están ocupados atrás mis jefes.
Sí.
Y les digo de ti.
Gracias.
Getting to 7-0 was important, but I was just as focused on seeing how much money I could generate from a small 4-round fight with no TV coverage. I wanted to push my limits.
On the right music. The owner's phone number. Maybe it's a dub. Maybe. Custom business cards from FedEx. 100 of them for like 18 bucks. $17.49. This is what the front of the.
I've joked before saying, I'm not even a boxer, I'm really just a businessman. But lately I'm starting to think there's more truth to that than I realized. Boxing isn't just a sport for me. It's the platform I use to build something bigger. Let's get into it.
I didn't catch you at a bad time, did I?
No. I actually got time right now. Like I'm senior for Sacramento.
My next fight is November 16th. I'm fighting in Redwood City. I'm currently 6-0. I've been boxing my whole life. I'm hoping to offer the most publicity to local businesses. Just kind of offer them a little extra exposure. I was wondering if you knew someone that might be interested.
Man, we could definitely do something like that, bro.
I'm in birthday now. Alright, this one has to be the one. All these fabrics.
That's $62.84.
Sac State lanyard. Yeah, that's pretty good, man. It's pretty close. I'm actually in the Bay Area right now, my mom's house. But when I'm cutting weight, I can't go eat with my family because I'm cutting weight, so.
The way I train now is pretty unique. With my background in exercise science, I had a solid foundation in theory, but my real experience came from two places: Olympic weightlifting and the Jab Lab. Back when I trained at the Olympic Training Center, we did strength training every day, and I picked up some solid movements. But the real transformation happened at the Jab Lab. That was my old strength coach's private gym, had everything I needed. When I first got there, I could barely lift a plate on deadlifts. By the time we split, I was pulling 355 pounds at just 150 body weight, more than double my weight.
In a very sensitive transitional period where I could have lost the passion for boxing, and for a short amount of period, maybe like 3 or 4 months, I wasn't really boxing at all. I found the well, and I seen they had these heavy bags. They had the speed bags too. To be able to do something relevant to boxing, I think that really saved my boxing life. So I joined the run club here in Sacramento. People like to watch a fight when they know who's fighting. 916 Run Club, Sacramento. Been good to me. We just secured another $1,500. So that means we're at least making. I'm not even gonna say nothing, but we're doing good. We're doing good for ourselves, man. Excellent spot right there. I'm doing mostly Instagram DMs, but I do have a lead. I did talk to them here. That's probably gonna be a no. I'm trying to achieve 20K. In theory, this is me being optimistic, I should be over 10K already. I haven't received any of the money yet, but based off confirmations, predictions, I should be around there. Fridays are track days. We're about 1 month out.
Yeah.
New generation right here.
Here. And there was like dinosaurs roaming the campus.
What do you thought?
You had the Flintstone mobile. So you were step breaking and shit.
That's Joe Schmo there. This is my my A team right here. This is what I'm supposed to use to get ready for November 16th. So I'm not feeling too optimistic. Boxing kept me aligned, boxing kept me focused. So that's what boxing does.
Amateur and professional boxing are two different worlds. Yeah, you can die in either one. But once you're fighting for money, the headgear comes off, the gloves get smaller, and every single punch has real consequences.
I got a black eye. Oh yeah, this camp has been expensive, but it's finally here. My $800 winning gloves. What's up, y'all? I got my new winning gloves right here. These were about $800. Kitchen knife. winning only comes like this. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh gold. Ooh,
Honestly, sometimes right before a fight, I catch myself thinking, what the hell did I just sign up for? But once that bell rings,
oh, yeah.
it's like a switch.
These are gonna be the ones.
Pro boxing is life or death. One punch can change your entire future, or worse, end it. That's why I always tell people, even young amateur boxers, if you can find an easier way to make a living, do it. Because this sport isn't easy. And here's the thing, unless you're signed to a big promoter like Top Rank or Matchroom, your first 5 to 10 fights aren't going to make you any money.
So got to check another 1,500 bucks. So that means we made 3,000 today, just today. FedEx Print and Ship Center coming out here because we gotta make some posters.
Okay, here we go. So, you make a copy of that.
There it is. So I got my 5 posters, and I pretty much asked them, hey, can I come in and bring a poster? Come and bring the poster is a way better than saying, hey, can I have more money? Guys, and they said, yeah, Lopez, number 1. They sponsored me the last 2 fights. Hopefully they do it again, but I'm not gonna ask for it. Here we are, Friday. That was crazy. We did 15-second intervals with 15-second walks in between. That's probably the worst shit we ever did. And then we did it again, 10-second intervals with 10-second sprints. How was that? It's terrible, right?
Brutal.
Brutal. Yeah.
Alright. And then with the body punches, like with the body shots.
Fridays we train at Sac State Gym. I'm gonna help educate the next generation of boxers. Finishing off this camp strong. I'm maxed out at 255. Under 3 weeks out, still looking to lock in the opponent. Busy day today, following up another lead. We're about, better not be getting sick again. 2.5 weeks out. Express sushi and teriyaki. So that went pretty well good, guys. I think we got another sponsor. Send the PDF of the same sponsors tag. He's gonna look over it. Stingers up. Days out before fight time, and yesterday, exactly 2 weeks after my fight, something pretty tragic happened amongst my family. My uncle, I don't know if it was cartel or it was just somebody came to go knock on my grandpa's door, and they asked for my uncle. My uncle came out, and they just blasted him until he was dead, very brutally. He was killed very brutally. My mom's sad. I had to hear her cry. I couldn't even go. I can't miss a fucking day of training because I'm kind of fighting 13 days. It just feels weird. I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to process this. Just kind of venting now before I start this 5-mile hill run. I have a good feeling everything's gonna change soon, man. I have a good feeling. Still don't have an opponent. We're 10 days out. Got some big money coming in. Like some big money coming in from Sac State, some other businesses, and still no opponents. And God got me no matter what happens. I'm praying every day. We should be around like $7,000 to $8,000 in sponsors, so that's pretty good. We should definitely hit at least 10,000. Coming out here to my childhood church because it's 8 days and we still don't have an opponent. I've been here before, man, and whenever I ask God for help, He comes through. So. And it's all gonna be fueled by my education. So big thank you to Sacramento State for that one. Little 5-piece in, just a little weight management now. 8 days out still. Well, everybody else my age is out partying, having a good time like they should. I'm coming back home from the gym, going home, straight home, sleep and rest because I'm fighting in about 8 days. However, in theory, all gonna be worth it, because we're making bands. Just here, just a few hours ago, I prayed and I asked humbly for God to help me because we couldn't find an opponent, and we're 1 week out. Literally the same day we get an opponent. That's just telling me that God's on my side. That's just telling me that God has His hand on me. Out here on Sac State campus, my whole fight suit on. People look at me like I'm crazy probably. We're gonna do a photo shoot. This one's gonna be iconic. Sac State sign. I am the first Sac State Pro Boxer, a professional boxer with a 4-year college degree. I mean, I'm sure they exist, but no one's really taking it to those levels. So we're gonna do something different.
As you watch me train for my 7th fight, everything seemed to be falling perfectly into place. Moving up to 140, the weight cut was smooth. My conditioning was sharp, my sparring was on point. Physically, I was locked in. I truly believed I had everything under control, but I couldn't have been more wrong.
I'm excited, man. I know November 16th is gonna be good night. Currently at 6,500. Still waiting on that Sac State check, so I should put it at 10.5. Make it in, boys.
Remember when I said this story doesn't have a happy ending? We're getting close now. Consider this your warning.
My name is Kevin No Mas Montaño, and I was made at Sac State. Check out my new glasses, the Ray-Bans. I'm gonna try one last sponsor run. Get axed in Roseville. The manager has a boxing background, and the owner likes boxing. Talked to him on the phone. Seemed interested. Hell yeah, but I think we got one more, guys. If this camp could not get any more busy, I have to drive to Fresno, 2.5 hours right now. I have to practice to get my last medical done tomorrow morning. Turkey, mashed potatoes, and corn. Almost there, just one more day, and then we get to weigh in.
On paper, everything checked out. My diet, my road work, my weight, my training. But there was something deeper, something I barely understood at the time. Okay, if I'm being honest, I knew it was there. I just never thought it would take over my body the way it did. It was unlike anything I'd ever felt before. I stepped out of that fight without a single scratch on my face, but I don't remember a single second of it.
Had to get this in the vlog, man. So I show up to this hotel room. There's no water. So I go down the street to the liquor store, which the dude right here that works here told me was open. It was closed. Go next door to the gas station. That's also closed. Walk all the way back to my car. Drive. I listen to the 2 gas stations. They're both closed. Drive another 3 miles to a fucking Jack in the Box. Finally, it's open. Still need water. Wait in line for 30 minutes. Finally get water. Get charged for like $7 for just 2 cups of water. Now we're back. It's like 2:30 in the morning. 2 days out from fight time. Terrible, man. Cannot wait for this to be over.
Then I go my own way. You think about me all day. That's just a warning.
Here we go. Logos. Final logos. There's like 17 of them. Got here signs now. Shout out to Ray for Sazzy.
What happened next? In my eyes, it was my worst nightmare come to life.